WhiskyJason here, Whiskey Live Dublin 2023, together with
Alex Witt, head distiller of Boann Distillery.
very, very, very good. Now, I was there last year.
Yeah.
I was amazed by your setup and what you're doing there. A whole year has now passed. Tell us a little bit what is exciting has happened in the meanwhile.
Well, we had our first proper release of our
Yes.
first single cask whiskey. So this is cask number 2. This
right.
was filled on the winter solstice of 2019.
Yep.
So we had a big party, bottled and filled the cask on winter solstice 2022.
Right.
So 3 years to the day later, fully matured in a Pedro Jimenez sherry hogshead.
Yep.
So it has a lot of rich fruits, kind of a spicy, crackly, almost texture to it. So really
Now, a
delicious
normal
whiskey.
person didn't get to see that bottle, I would say. You
Yeah.
had to be somehow connected almost to the family.
Yeah, so we invited a lot of people that made the distillery possible.
Yes.
People that delivered the grain, people that made the labels, all that stuff. We're all invited. We did have a few bottles that we put up for sale, but it was very limited release.
Very limited. I didn't
429
Which
bottles.
is normal. All right.
Yeah.
Well, has there been another release of your only juice since then?
Not yet.
Exactly. So when's the next one planned? Is that in the pipeline, or that's going to be next year?
I think Peter already spilled the beans on that
Oh,
one. So
okay.
summer solstice release.
All right. Well, okay. So 2023 summer solstice.
Yeah.
So you've
summer.
actually you're working on bottling it and getting out to the public. Hey, cool.
So,
very, very good. So now you have some other interesting things there as well.
Yeah. So just another. So on the winter solstice of 2019, we filled a load of different casks. We filled the Sauterne, we filled a rum cask here, we filled Bordeaux, different type of wine, Muscatel, all that kind of stuff. So we have quite a few samples of things that we think are exceptionally good. Brought along to share with everyone.
Now, the solstice, let's go back to that for a moment. Is that something very, very typical now for the family here, or is it just typical for Ireland, or is it just something that Boann Distillery is going to use in the future as well?
Yeah, so we'll probably stick with the solstice kind of theme. Given our location close to Newgrange and the solstice, rich solstice history of the region, we'll probably stick with that and just keep it going.
All right, interesting.
So at least the public will always know when we'll have a release. It's like, well,
so let's see here, June 21st, and then maybe a week or two later or whatever, you're going to boom, put it out there. That's very, very, very good. All right, so we have the two different bottles here. Let's go back to one was Sauterne, or what was the?
So I have, this is just a bourbon sample.
Which is a beautiful color, which you can't see, so let's take a look at this real quick. So this you pulled from a cask. This is not yet available.
Right.
Good. This is a Whiskey Fair only. Whiskey Live only. All right, very, very good. All right, thank you. All right, and that was?
So we have a rum cask here.
That was the rum, okay.
Finished,
so very good. So I like the color.
Fully matured in a Barbados plantation rum cask.
All right, excellent, excellent. So for those of us that do not know that much about your distillery, double distilled, triple distilled?
Triple distilled.
Very, very good. Single malt or pot still?
Primarily pot still. We do make a small amount of single malt,
right?
But we want to really focus on the pot still because we think that's where the truly interesting whiskeys come through. So.
GI conform or non-GI conform?
Well, depending on how far into the future you're looking.
Well, yes.
We are, as a lot of you probably know, we are trying to get the GI changed to allow more other cereals, oats, wheat, and rye to be used in pot still whiskey. Currently, our sort of core recipe is GI compliant, but even all the stuff, the weird and wonderful stuff that we've done in the past will be GI compliant in the future.
All right. So, and you expect the GI to be what? Geographical indicator, which means what's allowed for pot still whiskey in Ireland.
They'll still stay with the minimum 30% malt, minimum 30% raw barley, but they'll allow a maximum of 30% other cereals.
Exactly. And so you're playing around with oats and?
Oats, wheat, and rye.
Okay, oats, wheat, and rye. All right. So I'm going to say 5-grain mash bills out there? Unmalted barley, and the other three as well?
We have done a few mashes that had, at least 5% of everything. So.
All right. Very, very nice. Very, very good. Now, one last thing, the name of the distillery. Why? And why is it the Whistler that we knew so far?
So Boann is the goddess of the Boyne Valley, Boyne River. And the Whistler is named after the head honcho, Pat Cooney.
Yeah.
He is a very prolific whistler. You can hear him sometimes. You can always hear him coming because he'll be whistling. So.
If all exhibitors would please go to their stands now, we're going to start letting customers in. Thank you.
So one last, that's your call. All right,
yeah,
very, very good. And one last thing. Now, Irish whiskey is of course booming. Where do you see it in 5 or even 10 years from now?
All over the world.
What do you mean with all over the world?
So I think we're in about 60 countries right now.
Okay.
And it seems like every week you go up to the sales office, they say, "Oh, we just opened this new market."
Okay.
Open this new market.
So the Whistler is in 60 different markets at the moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Boann Distillery, we already have a foothold in those 60 countries, so it'll be easy to say, "Look, you love our Whistler." Now we have
our own juice.
Have this.
Yeah.
So
That's
shouldn't
amazing.
be too hard.
All right. Can we visit you?
Yeah, sure.
At the distillery, very good. How do we find out about the times and so on? Online,
www.boanndistillery.ie. We currently don't have a visitor center,
right?
But in the future, keep checking the website, and you'll hopefully see that button for book a tour.
All right, very, very good. Will it happen this year or next year?
Next year.
All right. Yeah. I walked around that area last year, and it's like, oh, this is going to be the visitor center. Yeah. The question is how quickly things can be implemented sometimes.
We're late in the planning stage.
All right. So very, very good.
Hopefully soon.
All right. Thank you. Whiskey Jason here together with
Alex Witt.
Thank you very much.